2 Samuel 5. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. The letter J is about 600 years old, while Yehoshua the Son died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago. YahWeh, Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. He is so jealous. He's a very jealous El, like a very jealous El. He's so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And Yehoshua in English is Joshua. 2 Samuel 5. And all the tribes of Israel came to David in Hebron and spoke, saying, Look, we are your bone and your flesh. Formerly when Shaul was sovereign over us, you were the one who led Israel out and brought them in. And Yah said to you, Shepherd my people Israel, and be ruler over Israel. And all the elders of Israel came to the sovereign at Hebron. And sovereign David made a covenant with them at Hebron before Yah, and they anointed David sovereign over Israel. And David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron he reigned over Yehudah 7 years and 6 new moons. And in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years over all Israel and Yehudah. And the sovereign and his men went to Jerusalem against the Jebusites and the inhabitants of the land, and they spoke to David, saying, Except you take away the blind and the lame, you are not going to come in here, thinking David is not going to come in here. But David captured the stronghold of Sion, the city of David. It's called the city of David. Of course David would capture it. Sion is Sion. And David said on that day, Anyone who strikes the Jebusites, let him go by the water shaft and take the lame and the blind who are hated by David's being. That is why they say the blind and the lame do not come into the house. And David dwelt in the stronghold and called it the city of David. And David built all around from the Millo, Millo, and inward. And David went on and became great, and Yah Elohim of hosts was with him. And Hiram, Iram, sovereign of Sor, Tsor, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built a house for David. And David knew that Yah has established him as sovereign over Israel, and that he had exalted his reign because of his people Israel. And David took more concubines and wives from Jerusalem. What a horror! After he had come from Hebron, and more sons and daughters were born to David. And these were the names of those born to Jerusalem: Shamu, Shammua, and Shobab, Shob with a line underneath of it, Ab with a line underneath of it, and Nathan, and Shaloma, Shelomoh, and Yibhar, Yib with a line underneath of it, H with a dot, Ar, and Elishua, Elishua, and Nepheg, Nepheg with a line on top of it, and Yaphia, Yaphiya, and Elishama, Elishama, and Eliada, Elyad with a line underneath of it, A, and Eliphelet, Eliphelet. And the Philistines heard that they had anointed David sovereign over Israel, and all the Philistines went up to search for David. But David heard and went down to the stronghold, and the Philistines came and spread themselves out in the valley of Rephaim, Repha'. And David inquired to Yah, saying, Do I go up against the Philistines? Do you give them into my hand? And Yah said to David, Go up, for I shall certainly give the Philistines into your hand. And David came to Baal Peratzim, Ba'al, which is another word for Lord. Peratzim, Peratsim. And David struck them there, and he said, Yah has broken through my enemies before me like a breakthrough of water. So he called the name of that place Baal Peratzim, and they left their images there, and David and his men took them away. And the Philistines again came up and were spread out in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of Yah, he said, Do not go up, turn around behind them, and you shall come up upon them in front of the mulberry trees, Mulberry, mulberry trees. And it shall be when you hear the sound of stepping in the tops of the mulberry trees, then act promptly. And when Yah shall go out before you to strike the camp of the Philistines, and David did so as Yah commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba, Geb, with a line underneath of it, Geba, as far as Gezer, Gezer. Bam! Savages.